Hi everyone, hello, Mr. Jacobs here with some fun literacy learning for you today. That's right, I did say fun. We're going to play a game. I think most of you are familiar with Boggle. I have created a slideshow that goes through the different tips and rules of how to play Boggle, and there's some game cards on there. Okay, so you can play the one that's featured in the slideshow, and then there's two more at the end for you to try. So get the people in your house, get them gathered around the screen. Remember to pause and play as and when you want to, and see how many words you can come up with as a household. Whoever comes up with the most points is the winner. So the longer the word you can create, the more points you're going to earn. All of that's in the slideshow. I know it's tricky coming back after we've had a holiday, especially when the sun is still shining, but to be honest, there's no reason why you couldn't print it off and go and sit outside and play it. In fact, to be honest, it's probably a better thing to do. Go and sit yourself down, look at the list, look at the game card, and just jot down how many words you can find from it. You can make it a game, you can put a time limit on it, you can anything like that, or you can just do it as a leisurely sort of way of entertaining yourself and just take your time, play until you get bored of it basically. But being outside, you could write the game card out on a piece of paper, print it off, and go and relax with it. When you're finished, just have a look through some of the words and just see perhaps if you understand them, and if you don't, look them up, go online, look at the thesaurus or dictionary, and just think about what words you might want to start introducing into your writing next term. Nothing heavy today, just looking at some fun words, playing around with them, and maybe even having a bit of fun with those in your house. Okay, best of luck. Hopefully you'll get, I don't know, at least 20 points, which I'm sure you will. And I'd love to see some finished game sheets with all those words on there if you can. Right, take care, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye. Welcome back everybody at Larwood, the Maroon team. I hope you've had a fantastic week off. The sun's been shining, so I'm trusting you've got outside at some point, enjoyed the sunshine, played some games, and are ready to do a little bit more learning, but in a fun way, as we always try and make it. So with our literary lessons today, I thought we'd play some Boggle. Many of the classes I know play it, so you should be quite familiar with it. This is our game card. There are some more game cards at the end if you want to play some more after this one. So, how do we play it? So here we go through some rules. Try and find as many words as you can. The longer the words, in my version, the more points you get. So for example, if you find a two-letter word like at, it's 2 points. If you find a four-letter word like past, P-A-S-T, it's 4 letters, and so on. Okay, so the more words, there's more letters in your words, the more points you can earn. Now, if there are 3 T's in your game card, then you can use 3 T's if you can come up with a word that has 3 T's in it. If on your game card there's only 1 L and you think of a word that has more than 1 L, then you can't have it because you can only use the letters that are on that grid card. You cannot use individual letters more than once. Obviously, if there are more than one of those letters, like I said, 3 T's, you could have a word with 3 T's in it. So you could pick a level to play at. So you set it yourself. So following our sizzling, hot and scorching levels at school, you could have sizzling where you don't put a time limit on it. You could even, if you wanted to, say to each other, if you can think of a word but not 100% sure on the spelling, then use a dictionary. Okay. Obviously, it will take you a bit longer to go through the dictionary and so on to find that word. But again, to start with, you may want to use that. At hot, you might set yourself a time limit. So you might want to say to you and those playing, which might be a relative, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you decide what you'd like to set the time limit at. Scorching, making it even harder. Here's a typical table below, which I have sent to you via your teachers, where you could fill in the letters that you find, the words that you find. So if it's a 2-letter word like at, put it in the 2-letter column, 5 in the 5-letter column, and so on and so forth. Now you could set a rule that to qualify your points at the end, you need to have a word in each of these columns. So that means you've got to come up with a 6 or more lettered word. So again, maybe start at sizzling or hot and work your way up to the scorching level. Let's play Boggle. Here's some tips. So when you find a 2-letter word, for example, could you make it a 3-letter by adding a word to it? So I've said at repeatedly, so I see there's at. Then could I add a letter beforehand so I can see that there's cat? Cat. Could I have more than one cat? Yes, I could. I could have cats. So there's 4 points I could have there. Could I have another three-letter word that I can make longer by adding an S as a plural. I can see cap down the side, caps. There you go, there's a 3 and a 4 quite quickly. So have a look, see what you can come up with. Now, again, you might think of adding something like past tense, like an ed, a suffix or prefix. Like so, with the prefix we have un, dis, post and pre. And suffixes like es, s as in cats, shun, cap, shun, maybe you could see that in there. And you can go through and come up with, I'm not going to give you any more because I'll give the game away. I've given you some answers already, so have a little think about that. Okay, can you add any prefix suffixes to one word? And again, kind of go through that methodically. So here is your game card again. Leave it on the screen, pause this slideshow so you can see it. Again, if you're adding a time limit, remember to stop at the end of the time limit. There are a few words as a starter to help you here. Obviously it helps everybody, but it just maybe gets you into that swing of it. So again, you can pause this and copy those words into your piece of paper, your record sheet. If you haven't got what I printed off for you or sent to you, then just write it on a piece of paper quickly. Press the pause button and set yourself up a recording. Here are 2 more game cards. You could quite easily make up your own game cards. This one's only got 4 on each side, so we've got 16 letters in these 2, whereas your previous one had 25. You can create your own. Like I said, you could create a list for your parent to play. They could create a list for you to play, so on and so forth. But enjoy and play around with some Boggle. And if there's some words that you're not too sure on, check with the dictionary on how to spell it, but also check on its meaning, because it might be a word you might want to try and include in your writing when we get back to it. So fantastic. Thank you for listening. Enjoy yourself and good luck on trying to beat your relatives and friends. Thank you.